Hello Flosstube, my name's Natalia. Welcome to the channel. This is OfficialMermaidsCove. This is my channel about my cross-stitching hobby and other crafty things I like to do. Thank you for spending some time with me today and coming to visit. If you're a subscriber, thank you for coming back. If you're new, hopefully you'll stick around and see what I have to offer, and if you like it, you'll come back and watch some of my other videos. So this video is just going to be a weekly update. I'm just going to be going over what I worked on for the past week and any purchases I might have made, the plans that I have moving forward. I'm deciding if I want to add this as a separate section, but I do a lot of my tracking on my projects using spreadsheets and tracking numbers. I might add that as like a Flosstube extra, or just add that towards the end if people are not into knowing the breakdown that I do to help me track my progress on my projects. And then at the end, I'll also do some shoutouts for some of the Flosstubes I've found and been watching. So we'll start with my whips, what I've been working on. I am happy to say that I have a finish. If you saw my last video, well, I guess it was technically finished as far as the sal, but I wanted to add some extra lines to this. So this is my Ever After sal. It was being hosted by Forbidden Fiber Co. I bought the sal kit from them. I got the 32 count Belfast linen, and I stitched it 2 threads over 2 fabric threads, full cross. And this is how it looks now. These were the sections for the sal. There were 16 parts released on Monday every week, and the last part was released not last Monday, but the Monday before that. And then this past week I spent some time adding the lines on top. I added Once Upon a Time. This is based off of the movie featuring Drew Barrymore. I think it was released 1998, but it's based off like the Cinderella story, and these are different parts of the movie. But the movie opens with like I guess she's like a queen or royalty, a lady of nobility, and she's talking to the Brothers Grimm that she has recently read their story about the Cinderella and some of the other fairy tales. And so she starts telling them that it's, based off of that there's somebody in her family that the story reminds her of. And so she's like, oh, I can tell it to you. And she's like, what is that line that you use? And she says, once upon a time, there was a girl who loved her father very much. So I just added the Once Upon a Time at the beginning, and then we have all the movie quotes that were released as part of the sal, and at the very end, after she tells them the story, they're very astonished. They're like, wow, that's incredible. We never knew that there was somebody who kind of matched up with the fairy tales. We always think they're more like, myths and stuff. We didn't realize that some of them, it was hard for us to believe that some of the things could add up to things that could have maybe actually happened to people. And then at the end of it, she's like, well, the point is, gentlemen, that they lived, right? That these were real people, that they went through difficult situations and found their happiness. So I added that as the last line here. I might have, if I had to do it over, I might decrease some of the spacing, but I did want this part to like be big and like to have big focus on it. So I did the letters in red and the red that came for the kit. And I think it's the orchard red. They have 2 reds. They have one that's orchard and one that's called courtier, and I did the one in orchard. And then I used the soot, the black thread that they included in the kit threads as well. But yes, so I'm officially done. Like I said, I decided not to go back and add the sparkly threads to the corners. There's not a lot of sparkle thread in this, and I didn't really add any going throughout it. I could go back and do it, but I think I like it the way that it is. I like, using all the kit threads that Leanne gave us. So I just left it as is. I'm not going to go back and add anything other than the 2 lines I added. And it's a really nice long piece. I'm probably not going to frame this. I'll probably try to end up doing like a tapestry finish. I've done one like that for my Epic Pokemon stitch before. But we'll see if I do it the same way this go around or if I do it a little bit different. But yes, I'm happy to say that that is finished. So that clears up some of my space on my whip count. I like to keep a limited number of whips so that I don't get too overwhelmed. I have been stitching on more things ever since I found Flosstube and Instagram, but I cannot see myself ever being, well, a lot of people say this, but I honestly think the thought of having like 40 whips or something seems stressful to me. So I'm kind of capping it to just keep my sanity, because this is supposed to be a hobby, right? So that was my the first thing I really focused on this week. The next one was a new start. I've been doing hashtag Sweet Wing Studios no, September. I have a lot of Sweet Wing Studio charts that I bought from Susan at the Stitch Florida retreat. It was my first retreat, and as part of the retreat, Susan designed this chart. It's called Choose Joy. It says, "The joy of the Lord is my strength. Meet me in 8:10." And I started that. This is my start. I was planning on starting 4 charts of hers. I've already started the first 2. You can go back in my previous videos and see those. It was This I Know and Bless and Keep. I finished both of those. This one's a little bit bigger than those, and I think I really just had a goal when I decided to do this to maybe do like 500 stitches on each of these. So regardless, since I finished my Ever After style, I might go ahead and just start a new one after I get to 500. I've done a little over 400 stitches on this. I just have Of the Lord right now. I'm hoping to maybe get some of the more of the blossoms, or maybe even start on that really big orange that's just above here. We'll see. But once I get 500 stitches on this, I'm probably going to move on to the last one that I had planned, and I can show you that one after I show you the rest of the whips that I actually worked on. So yes, so this is where I'm at with this. I'm stitching this 1 thread over 2 threads of fabric, full cross. This is on a 36 count fabric. It's a linen. This is dyed by Black Cauldron Dye Works, and it's called Daytona Sky. I really like this fabric. It looks like a sky. I mentioned before, you might see this line here, I kind of already marked. I took out a linen thread for the size of the fabric. I haven't cut down this fabric for this pattern yet, so I just marked off like where the edges were with, you know, some space for finishing. So I have that marked off here. But this fabric is really, really beautiful, and I look forward to maybe finding some other smalls or some other, you know, I think there might be enough to maybe do like a Nora Corbett or something on it. So it's really, really pretty, and I might buy some more, you know, knowing that physically this is what it looks like if I run out and I feel like I need another project for it. But it's really, really pretty fabric. So yeah, if you're interested, you can look up Black Cauldron Dye Works. They have a lot of pretty fabrics. I bought quite a few pieces from them at the retreat, and I really recommend them. I've had a really good experience stitching on their fabrics. Okay. I was taking Ever After with me to work to stitch on during my lunch break, and once I finished that, I went back to my other work piece. I'll insert a picture of what this looks like. The chart is called Sweet Summertime, Time for All Seasons by Cottage Garden Samplings, and this is where I'm at. I have this housed on a Straight from the Heart bag by Sue. I bought this at Coloring Cotton, their storefront. They sell a lot of her bags there. This one's just, you know, a little folder with a snap closure. So I am stitching this on a Stitch Me fabric called Fuya Morte. It's a 36 count. I'm also stitching this 1 thread over 2 fabric threads, full cross, and I added my rooster's legs and feet. And I've been stitching more on the body, and I outlined the feathers and filled in some of the grays there. So yeah, making progress on this. I don't really have any deadlines for this. I did do a conversion. I'm not going to be doing the frame, and I'm not going to, this is not a watermelon it's going to be standing on. It's going to be standing on the Puerto Rican drum. I'm hoping to stitch the rooster first because there's no changes that I'm making on that, and I've already kind of sketched out what I want it's going to have the shape of the watermelon, but it's going to be a drum. So you'll be able to see that. But this fabric is beautiful. I just have this blocked off to use half the fabric, so I'll still have the other half to use for something else. Brandy at Be Stitch Me also dyes beautiful fabrics, so I would definitely go. She sells them on her Facebook group. She has a Facebook group, and she also does Friday Fight Nights, where she has certain fabrics that you get the chance to comment on and let her know that you would like. So there you go, not a lot of progress on that, but having fun getting some work done on that one. And then the last thing that I stitched on this week has been my main focus for the month. This, I might have to insert a picture here. I have the paper picture for this, but I can't seem to remember where I put that since the last video. So we'll just go, nope, that's not it. Okay. Yeah, so I'll insert a picture. This is a Gecko Rouge kit. This is called Ying Yang Dragons. I'm stitching this on a 28 count gridded even weave. I started stitching it 1/1 full cross, and then went to doing 2/1 tent. I'll insert a picture here of the section that I showed you in my last video. I finished 2 rows of pages, and then I moved the Q-snap up. This will be the last move that I do on the frame, and this is all that I have left. It is under, I think it's like 4,000. I wrote it down somewhere. I have 4,257 stitches left. That is it. There's only 13 colors left in this, so if I color block it, I should be able to get through, you know, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do it by colors. I like stitching a lot of my full coverages by color completion. I'm just so happy to see this so close to finish. My goal was to finish it by the end of the month, and it looks like we're going to get there. And I'm looking forward to having it done and then washing off the grid and getting this framed for my husband. I'm doing this as like a wedding sampler for us. When I'm finished completely, I'm hoping to put the details probably here in the middle of the dragons, if I could fit it, if I can chart the wording, and it looks okay. But yes, I'm so happy it's finished. Oh, well, it's not finished yet, but it's definitely going to be finished by the end of the month. So I got the progress that I wanted to last week, and we're here at the last piece. I have some like small confetti stitches to finish up here on the top of the fur for this dragon, and then this really is just like the neck edge of the scales here, and some of the front claw here, and then the front claw here, and then the rest of the neck on this one. The whiskers are all stitched up for this one. But yes, super excited. Looking forward to showing you a finish on this one. I can also insert a picture of what it looks like on Pattern Keeper to like give you a better idea of like what the spots that I have left to fill in. But yeah, I'm so happy. I'll be happy to have this done. And that's the last thing that I stitched on. Once I have this done, I still do have another Gecko Rouge kit that I had going on. I think I'm at 30% with that one. So plans are to finish Ying Yang Dragons. Today is also the first day of autumn on the calendar for the US, so I don't know, I guess maybe that's worldwide. So I decided that I was going to start an Autumn Lane stitch piece. I put it out on the Facebook group, and a lot of people wanted to join me. So I came up with the hashtag stitching on Autumn Lane. If you want to join us, you can pick a whip that you already have going, or if you don't have one of their designs, highly recommend them. They're one of my favorite designers. You can go onto their website, and they actually have some of the PDF charts for a little bit cheaper than the paper copies. I also think Cassandra's on vacation with her husband right now, so they're probably not going to be mailing out the paper charts anytime soon if that's how you go about ordering it. So if you don't have a chart already available and you would like to buy one to start a piece, I would recommend going on the website and buying a PDF, a digital copy, if you like digital patterns. But the one that I'm going to be starting, I'll insert a picture here, is the Hawaiian Mermaid. I already had it kitted up, so I have my threads on my floss card already, and I'm going to be stitching it on black Aida. The mock-up that they show on their website does not have it stitched on black, but on the pattern, the PDF pattern, the instructions that they give, they recommended trying it on black because these are really bright colors, and they think that they would pop really well. There's black here, but I think it's more like to highlight the eyes and the features in the face. So I'm very confident that a lot of these colors will show up really well and they won't get lost on the fabric. So I will be stitching that today, so I'm looking forward to that. I put a lot of my daily progress photos on Instagram, so you can follow me. I have it linked in the description for my Instagram handle. It's also OfficialMermaidsCove. So I try to post daily updates on there. So if you want to follow along with me finishing my dragon, I'll post updates on there, and I'll also post a picture of my new start once I get it stitched on today. The other new start, I mentioned I was going to do my last start for September for Sweet Wings Studio September. The last chart that I had planned to start was this one. It's called Fear Not. I have all the threads already kitted. They're on the same floss card as the ones for Choose Joy. Where those flosses are right now, I could not tell you. Oh, here they are. They were under, I have like piles of things around me right now to do this video. Fear Not. I put like 3 different projects on this floss card. And I labeled it a little weird. Like I tried to write them in different colors. So these are the colors for Fear Not. It also asked for a blue. And I think the blue that I picked is this one. It's Blue Jay by the Gentle Art. It's one of those threads that I thrifted. It's a nice light blue. So it's blue, there's browns, there's purples. There's also white. And it looks like I did not have, I'm sure it's on a project somewhere, but it looks like the DMC that they called for, sorry, not the DMC that they called for, the specialty thread that they called for, I don't have something comparable to it in my stash. So I grabbed 2 of the DMC, and I'm going to try to see if I can maybe create a variegated effect by stitching with these 2 colors, and that would be DMC 3835 and 3836. So this is what the chart looks like. It says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God." Isaiah 41:10. And this is the fabric that I chose to stitch it on. I can't remember if I'm going to be using all of this fabric. Maybe I will. It's supposed to go this way. Let's see what the height. Yeah, it's wider than it is high. So maybe it is this way. And I think I might, let me see. I have a little book that I try to write the dimensions on for when I start these to make sure that I don't mess up. I have a little snafu with my lady cat. And so I've been trying to be a little bit more, I'm usually pretty good about it. This is the first time I've really had something like that happen. Let's see, for Fear Not, am I using the whole fabric? Yes, it says I'm using the full piece of fabric. So I'm probably just going to center this and work this like the way that it is. I think that'll be okay. If not, I might move it a little to the right. I like the modeling on this. This is a 14 count Ada that I dyed. It might have been one that I did with my sister. But yep. So I'll be stitching it 2/2 on this. So that'll be my next start. I might try to see if I get the last, well, I got like less than 100 stitches left to go that I wanted to get in on Choose Joy. Once I get that done, I'll probably take this to work with me and work on it. We'll see. This is also a 14 count black Ada. I don't know if I mentioned the count for the Hawaiian Mermaid. Yeah. And that one's just, it's not dyed. It's a piece that I thrifted, found like that. Okay. So there is that. I've already transferred these patterns into Pattern Keeper, so that'll make it easier for me to track my stitch count on. I don't have any haul, but I will. Let me see. I got this, and maybe I didn't show it in another video. I got a book light. So far I'm still using my other city lights for it when I'm stitching, but I feel like this would be good if you're traveling. You know, it would work out to give you some extra light when you're stitching, and it's not too heavy. I'm still kind of fiddling with the settings to like figure out how I want to use this. It's the first time using a book light like this. It just goes around your neck, and then you can kind of angle these where you need the light to go. So I got that off of Amazon. I think it came a few weeks ago, but I didn't really show it here at first. Maybe because I tried it out once and then I haven't really been using it regularly like that. So it doesn't seem like it's going to be replacing my lighting situation while I'm stitching here at home, but it's nice to know that I have that available if I need to use it. I didn't buy that here recently, but I didn't really buy any haul stuff. Other crafty stuff I was doing, I mentioned this last video. My husband helped me touch up the spots that were kind of needed slightly more paint. So we got the edges all painted now. There's not the gapping that we saw last time when I showed this to you. And then I also have, he helped me cut out the mat board. So I have that ready. It's kind of a snug fit. I might have to trim down a little bit. So I will be framing this lady here in the near future. This is a pattern that I mock stitched for Lady Creations. She has a Facebook page, and I think she already has her own website she's created as well. The name of the pattern that she had when I mock stitched it for her was Pretty Watercolor Witch. So that's what you would search for if you're interested in finding this pattern from her. Or if you don't see it on her website, just reach out to her and send her a message, see if it's still available or not. I admit I did not check to see if it was still available when I went to record this. But that's the information on that. I stitched it 2 threads over a 30 count. I think it was originally 28 count, but after I dyed it, the fabric shrinked up. I self-dyed this one. But yeah, somebody mentioned in the comments in the last video that she looks like she's painted. I brought this to the Stitch Florida retreat, and I got so many comments on this. Yeah, she is really small, so it really does look, you know, it gives you that effect of like being farther away even when you look at it up close. She is very, it's almost like a patch though. It was very thick working on her, that small. But I did want to stitch her up quickly, so I ended up doing, you know, 10 stitches to try to make it go faster. But yes, beautiful. I actually wanted to stitch her because of these gorgeous roses, and the reds are really pretty. But yeah, I was really happy with how she turned out. So I have somebody who's going to really appreciate her that I have in mind to give her to. So once she's framed up, she will be going out in the mail. No, like I said, no haul this week, but I did I did pay to have something sent out. We're doing the Friendship Retreat sale. That's another. The Friendship Retreat sales. I know Dottie, the Stitching Scotty on Flosstube, has mentioned it several times on her Flosstube and on her Instagram. We're doing this sale. We started it at Stitch Florida, the retreat, to celebrate all the friends that we made. It's called the Friendship Retreat Sale, and we're doing the chart The Noblest Part by Sweet Wing Studio, and it says, friendship above all ties does bind the heart, and faith in friendship is the noblest part. At the bottom it has Roger Boyle, 1st Earl of Orrery. We are actually personalizing this. We're going to try to put, you know, we had 6 people to a table, there's 6 floss drops, so we're going to try to put our information individually on each of the floss drops, and then down here I think we were planning on putting Stitch Florida, you know, the retreat name, in the year. So we're doing it as a round robin, so I finished my part and I just sent it out. We're not in a rush to get it done, so we kind of split it up into 6 pieces, so each of us gets stitched on it, and add our parts to it, and we will be sending it out for the next part by the end of the month. So if you want to join us, you don't have to do it as a round robin, you can just stitch along. The pattern is beautiful. Like, if you are concerned about doing confetti stitching, I saw all these like individually colored blocks, and I was a little, you know, my eyebrows raised a little bit at that, but when I actually stitched it, it was so much fun to stitch those little blocks, and they actually weren't as tedious as I thought it was. It was really fun to do all the colors, and I changed out all the threads. If you look at some of my previous videos, you can see I showed them and what the conversion that I did, but there were some silks included in that, and it was really fun stitching with the silks, so I really enjoyed stitching it up. And it's less than 3,000 stitches, so it's a nice, quick, small chart that you can do and stitch along with us. So I did send that out to the next person, and I think the next person that I was responsible for sending it out to was Dottie, so hopefully Dottie will be getting it soon, sometime this week. Okay, so next we're going to talk about the whip tracking that I mentioned. Well, actually before that, I did check my subscriber count at the beginning of this video, and I believe we have hit 300 subscribers. I think when I checked it, it was 303. So yay, thank you. I'm always amazed that people choose to subscribe to this. I do stitch in an unconventional method, as to a lot of people on Flosstube. I do want to focus on the stitching, so I feel like this is a better way of showing that to you. But I know sometimes that's not people's preferred way of engaging with people who make Flosstube videos. And it does seem like very niche. Like the channel name that I chose doesn't always tend to let people know that this is about cross stitch. And I'm always not sure if the stuff that I'm showing you is helpful to you. I know a lot of the times when I watch Flosstubers, it's either because they're stitching on things that I enjoy stitching on, same kind of theme of stuff that I enjoy stitching on, or that they're giving me a lot of tips about stitching. I haven't been doing too much of that. I did some tutorial videos at the beginning of the channel, but I'll try to think of ways that I can maybe bring you into my process more if you're a new stitcher and you're trying things out to see if it helps you improve your process. I know right now my personal Flosstube tutor is stitching masterpieces on Flosstube. They have a lot of good tips on their YouTube channel or their Flosstube channel for stitching full coverage pieces, so I'm trying to incorporate a lot of those, especially because I'm currently thinking about next year and at least trying to focus more on getting my consistent progress on my full coverage designs, because there are quite a few full coverage designs that I want to do, and they are bigger pieces, and I don't have a lot of whips lying around, so if I want to work on them, I have to get some finished before I work on the next thing. Just personally for me, that's what works for me and keeps me sane. But I really appreciate to all the people who subscribed. I hope that you enjoy what you're seeing here, and I love engaging with people in the comments. I have had quite a few more people engaging with me in the comments, and I love hearing from people and engaging with people and talking to them about this hobby that we have in common. So as I mentioned in the last video, as the giveaway, the celebration that I'm doing for hitting 3,000 subscribers is going to be this. It is the Blue Lagoon Mermaid. It is a design by Bella Filipina. This was a design that was a box exclusive for Leslie at Under the Sea Fabrics Mermaid box for 2023. I am currently stitching on this, but what I'm going to do is the last giveaway that I tried to have, there wasn't really any entries for it. I'm wondering if that's because I didn't leave it open long enough. So this time, instead of leaving it open for a week, I'm going to leave this open for 2 weeks. I will be sending you the pattern, and I'm thinking 2 weeks. This is a really small design, so I'm thinking 2 weeks will give me enough time to finish what I need to do before I send it to you. So I'll also be focusing on trying to finish mine on this. Maybe I'll take this to work instead, and that'll help me get some more stitching on it. But I'm thinking 2 weeks is plenty of time for me to finish mine in order to send you yours. And this came as a kit, so it actually has beads and specialty threads. So if you have never tried beading, this will be a good way for you to try it out. I'm thinking I wouldn't mind opening this up internationally. What I'm gonna do, and be aware that I will do this, so if you enter, like, don't get mad at me if I fold this up. This is just a paper, it's not fancy paper. So if I do send this out, I'm probably gonna be folding this in half, maybe in fourths if I need to, when I ship it out. The kit came with the petite treasure braid, the different delicate beads. There's 3 different delicate beads, and then there's also a Mill Hill treasure. I will send all of these to you. I have some things that I can sub out in my own stash. I'm pretty sure I have beads, all these colors that I can sub in, and I also already have some metallic green from when I did the Dark Queen of the Earth series for Autumn Lane Designs, Autumn Lane Stitchery. So I'm going to sub all these things for my mermaid, and I will send you the original kit materials for this giveaway. If you're interested in trying out, maybe you've never tried these out before, I might do, if you're interested, I might do another bead with me video to show you how I use these things, if you're a little intimidated, but yeah, so that will be a part of the giveaway. So I'll be sending you the chart, I'll be sending you this, and then there's also the threads. This is all just the regular DMC. Some of the stuff I've already started stitching with, but there was like, I've been keeping track of like what the kit originally came with. So when I send it out, I will replenish the DMC, make sure that it's the same color match and everything, that there's not any dye lot issues when I send it out to you, and I'll send you these cards, like everything as it came with the kit, I'll send it to you. I already have it labeled, and I have the symbols in my handwriting kind of added on there from the symbols on the chart. They're on these really nice little cards. It's got the hole for the DMC, and then it's got a little side fishy here if you want to put your tieways. I think I've done that on this one. The threads that I've already started stitching on, I put it off to the side here on the fishy. But yeah, so I will be happy to send this to you. I'm thinking I'll open it up to international users. If I fold up the chart, it'll fit in like a smaller envelope, and I'm thinking it won't be hopefully too expensive to ship that out. So yeah, thank you so much for getting me to 300 subscribers. I'm hoping the channel will only continue to grow. I'm looking forward to meeting many more of you, and getting a chance to share this hobby with even more stitchers. So there's that. To enter the giveaway, official typical rules, standard rules apply. If you've seen any other giveaways on Flosstube, you know what I'm talking about. Please don't say the word giveaway in your comment, or any other words that might, like free or whatever, like any things that invites trolls into the comments. I really want this going to a stitcher. This is a gift, so after I give it to you, if you chose to sell it instead of stitching it, you know, that's your decision. That's what a gift is. You give that to somebody and then they decide what they want to do. You can't really put any more conditions on that. I'm not in control of what happens to it after I send it to you. But at least somebody who is, you know, must be a subscriber to the channel, must leave a like on this video, leave a comment below, and the word that I want you to include in your comment if you want to be included in the giveaway is mermaid. We'll just keep it simple. So just include the word mermaid in your comment. Yeah, and I will be drawing for this in 2 weeks instead of 1, so not my next update video, which will be the monthly wrap-up for September, but the video after that, my next standard Flosstube video, I will be drawing a winner for this, and you have to comment on this video in order to be able to enter. Please be 18. You must be 18 in order to be able to give me your address. When I announce the winner, I will try to leave a comment in your comment, but I always put my contact details in each of my videos. I have my email address on there. You will have to email me your address, if you're, email me your address once I announce the winner, and I'll probably reiterate a lot of this when I announce it on that video. I think that about covers everything. I'm not associating any monetary value to this, so if it does get lost in the mail, I'm not going to be refunding you any kind of value. It is what it is. Hopefully it gets to you safely. I will try to do everything on my part to make sure it does, but not in control if it does get lost in the mail. So I think that was all of the disclaimers. If I forget anything, let me know in the comments and I'll try to address that in my next video. So yeah, if you want to enter the look for that, just comment below and use the keyword mermaid in your comment. Okay, so next was the tracking that I wanted to talk to you about. I'm thinking maybe I'll keep this as like a standard thing, or if you're not interested in seeing it, maybe I'll just make this a separate Flosstube extra. I'll just keep track of my numbers for anybody else who likes to keep track of their numbers and is kind of like a little numbers nerd like me. So I printed this out. It's just like a monthly calendar. I might try to laminate something and see if that works, or I can just print one out for every month. We'll see. I might also just do a weekly breakdown and then just give you my final numbers at the end of the month. We'll see how I've decided how to do this moving forward. But for this first video, this is just a breakdown of what my September has looked like so far. For this past week, I stitched on Bless and Keep. I finished that at the beginning of the week. Well, I showed you that in my last update video though, so that's the only reason why I didn't show you here. I had finished it before I recorded my video. I have finished my Ever After, Sal, and I also started Choose Joy this past week, and I showed you that. My total stitch count for the week was 8,266 stitches. I got like 5,000 stitches in all my dragons, so a lot of good progress, and I haven't stitched on anything yet today, so I'm hoping to start on that. Today's officially the first day of autumn. If you want to join me for the stitching on Autumn Lane, Sal, I'll be starting my Hawaiian Mermaid. Feel free to pick a project you would like to stitch for that. The goal for this month was to finish my Yin Yang Dragons. I am more confident every day that will be happening. The initial stitch count was 46,699 stitches. So I had over 19,000 stitches remaining, and now we're under 4,300 stitches, so I'm super excited about that. Once I finish the Yin Yang Dragons, I am going to start on my other Gecko Rouge piece called Dracaris. I want to try to get that down to under 100,000, or at least 100,000 stitches or less by the end of the year, so that I can get more progress on that. So hoping everything goes well. That'll be the plan moving forward. And we'll see what other things that I come up with as far as whips that I want to work on. I had made this up. I had shown this on my Flosstube, and I can't remember if I really delve into it here. Maybe I covered it on one of my videos. I'm trying to come up with a way to like limit my whips in a way that will work for me, and that will push me to like get more progress on my whips. So I came up with like this as like my maximum capacity. So a project that I consider to be a year or over a year project would be like 100,000 stitches. Over a year would be over 100,000 stitches. So I have my capacity set at one project that is over 100,000 stitches, one project that is at 100,000 stitches, or a project that is over 50,000 stitches, two projects that are over 20,000 stitches, two projects that are over 10,000 stitches, two projects that are over 5,000 stitches, and 4 projects that are less than 5,000 stitches. If I have a stitching margin higher than 25,000 stitches, I can start more projects, smaller projects. Not some of the bigger ones, but like maybe, less than 5,000 stitches. So with that, my max stitch balance that I can carry is 300,000 stitches. And I can max out at 15 whips. I had 13 originally. I think I went ahead and upped it to 15, just because since I can't start a new one of these until I finish the ones that I'm currently working on, I might still have like, very few stitches left, so I might want to start some smaller projects, but I can't start another one of these until I finish that. So I upped my max a little bit so I could work on more smalls. And I'm thinking about Christmas ornaments too, so that's why I did that. So my Yin Yang dragons right now are, so the over in the red category, I only have one of those, and that would be my Dracaris piece. That is close to being 250,000,000 stitches. It's under that, it's 224,058 stitches. Currently I have 153,506 stitches left to go, so once I finish my Ying and Dragons, I would be focusing on trying to get at least 53,506 stitches. There's like 103 days left in the year, so if I stitched like 500 stitches a day on that, if I get the Ying Yang Dragon done by the end of the month, I would get close. So I'll be trying to integrate that into my goals for the year. My Ying Yang Dragons are the only piece that I have that's over 50,000 stitches. The original stitch count was close to 66,000 stitches, and now I'm down to 4,257 stitches. I have a chart that's like a printed project that was already pre-started that I found at a thrift shop called Sky Hunter. That one's under 2,500 stitches. That could be another close finish if I wanted to start on that. Angel of Elegance was a Christmas start that I started. I don't do a lot of seasonal stitches, but if I were to do seasonal stitching, it would be Christmas related things, and I just don't do a ton of it, so I don't really have a lot of progress in that. That is a big one. I recently inputted that project into Pattern Keeper, and it was a lot bigger than I thought it was. It's over 30,000 stitches, and I had gotten quite a fair amount in, but we still have over 30,000 stitches to go, so over 1,000 stitches went into it, and I still have 30,000 stitches. And that's not including the back stitching. It's a Dimensions gold piece, so that's a big one, and if I want to see it done, I'm gonna have to put more progress in that. I Tried is another full coverage piece. Well, it's not like full coverage, right, but it's a pattern that I bought by, I want to say Charting Creations, but it's not Charting Creations. I said that last time. No, it's the Cross Stitch Studio. I bought the pattern from the Cross Stitch Studio. And I got a start on it last year. This will be a project that I'm doing for my husband. I do a lot of, well, not a lot, but I have quite a few projects on the go. Yin Yang Dragons I wanted to do as a wedding sampler for my husband. I started for my husband. He's a really big Grinch fan, and Sky Hunter was also a project that he saw when we were thrift shopping that he wanted me to finish for him. I cropped it down. Sky Hunter is a Native American hunter standing on a hilltop, and I cropped the bottom of the hill down so I can make it more manageable to stitch on and kind of reduce some of the confetti that I was having to stitch on. And I didn't have the pattern switched over to Pattern Keeper originally. I have recently done that, but I don't know how well that's going to work for me just because of the way that the paper pattern is. We'll see, but if I focus that, maybe I can get that eliminated so I free up a slot in my whip count. I also have Periwinkle Mermaid started. That's a chart by Whittier Stitches. That's just under 20,000 stitches. Mermaid of the Pearls. is a memorabilia chart. That's just under 17,500 stitches. Blue Lagoon Mermaid, you saw that. I have a little over 3,600 stitches left to go, or under. I have 3,575 stitches left to finish that, but that includes the beading. I feel like I could manageably do that within the next 2 weeks to have it finished. I didn't show, but I said it was the kit materials. I will also give you this fabric. They gave us enough fabric to do the chart twice. You can see like this is basically how big the chart is going to be, so there's plenty of fabric still left for you to do it. This half of it, like this is half right here, so I'll be sending you this half of the fabric. If I need to cut mine a little bit close, that's fine. I'm probably just gonna make mine into a pillow finish, so I don't need a lot of extra room here. So if I need to give you a little bit extra piece, I will cut off and give you the bigger piece for the giveaway. But this is the fabric. It's really, really beautiful. It's pretty, or amphitrite, dyed by Leslie at Under the Sea Fabrics, and it's an opalescent. So you'll have fun stitching on that. It should be very, very sparkly. I got a present from my younger sister called Wintry Wolf. It's a printed embroidery. It's not on cross-stitch fabric. It's like on embroidery fabric. So I have that. I paused real quick. My husband just came back from work. I guess I'll start off time there. Okay, so and then the next one that I have is Sweet Summertime. Oh, for Wintry Wolf, I really don't have a stitch count on it. It's not a typical gridded pattern, so I don't know. I haven't really tried to put it into Pattern Keeper. I'm not sure how that would work because it really doesn't have a grid to it. But I just guesstimated that it's about a 6,000 piece stitch piece. That might be undershooting it. I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't really have a stitch count for that because it's not a Pattern Keeper. But that's something else that I have to stitch. Again, that's more of like a seasonal stitch for me. I'm not a big winter person, so I might not start stitching on that until closer to November. We'll see how that goes. I have Sweet Summertime. That was originally 6,371 stitches, and I cut that down to, and that is with the parts that I've cropped from it, the parts that I'm not stitching. And I've got that down to 4,740 stitches left. Choose Joy. It was 2,305 stitches, and I only have 1,888 stitches left. I'm thinking after I stitch the 88 stitches, I get it down to 1,800 stitches. I'll do what I wanted to get done this month, and I'll just maybe just put that into my other whips to stitch on during lunch at work, and it'll eventually get done. My Hawaiian Mermaid is going to be 3,485 stitches. I could have a new start because I think before this one got added, I was over 25,000 stitches, and I have that here, that if I have more than 25,000 stitches margin, like this is my max amount, and even with all these, and I think I could also cap this one. I don't necessarily have to have the full stitch count of this pattern on there. I could just put the amount that I'm looking forward to getting done in a year, but I don't know. I haven't really decided on that. Right now, this number down here is including the full amount left on Drakkars. So that would be 277,180 stitches with all of these projects included. And I have a margin of 22,892. So I'd have to finish some of my smalls in order to get some more margin in there. So I have Fear Not, that's included in this count, and then I have the Noblest Part included in this count. I was kind of debating whether or not to include the Noblest Part. That's the Friendship Retreat Cell stitch that I'm doing, because I'm only capping that for the round robin, you know, so like I only stitch 500 stitches max a month on that. So it's really not such a large stitch count that I can't get that done easily, you know, throughout a weekend or at work. So it's not really a lot to count as like a deficit, but right now, even with it, I'm still within a good range for what I'm trying to plan out. So it's looking good so far. Like I said, let me know if this is helpful to you or if it's interesting. I have joined Siski Stitches Facebook group and Nicola the Simply Stitcher Facebook group, where they're sharing their full coverage pieces. Siski Stitches has a lot of different boards that she's using to try to help her keep track. She does not enjoy having a whip rotation. I think the last Flosstube video that she recently put out, she was talking about how it doesn't really work for her to do that. She doesn't like being constrained or having it planned out, because then like the next day when she goes to stitch, it's like, oh, well, you have to stitch on this, and she feels like it's very constraining. So the way that she uses her boards, where she just does a roll of the dice, and it allows her to pick, random project, gives her more flexibility and more freedom. So you really have to find out which way works for you. You know yourself, people are like, oh, well, you shouldn't do things for other people, but like, I don't know, like that's the way I choose my inspiration for the things that I work on. I work on things that remind me of the people that I care about's interests, or the things that it still has to be something that I would enjoy stitching on, but a lot of the pieces that I stitch tend to be because of that. I stitch so many mermaids because my grandmother was the one who got me into embroidery, and she loves mermaids. So, that's why I enjoy stitching those. So you really have to find out what works for you. If a rotation works for you, if random luck of the draw works for you, if having 100 whips works for you, if having 15 whips max works for you. You have to try to find out what works for you, and if something doesn't work, don't be afraid to change back or go back to, this is supposed to be a hobby, it's supposed to be de-stress, it's not supposed to add stress to our lives. So just keep that in mind, allow yourself to be flexible, and just, you know yourself better than anybody else does, right? So if you know that this is not reasonable, or that you are not enjoying something, then by all means, no, there's no cross-stitch police. A lot of the Flosstubers say that out here. There's no cross-stitch police. There's nobody who's going to be looking over your shoulder, giving you a fine or something if you decide to change your plans from the previous plans you had. You have all the freedom to choose, right? And, like the Stitch Wing Studio piece, it says choose joy. That's what the chart's called. Choose your joy, Don't force yourself to do things that you don't enjoy doing. I am pushing myself to finish my dragons, but it's because I'm going to be really happy to see that finished, and it'll make room for me to finish some of the other full coverage charts that I have. Okay, so that's it for my whip tracking part of the video. Let me know if you would like to see that as part of my regular videos, or if you want me to just separate that into a different Flosstube extra, and I can do that. And it'll be like a Flosstube extra devoted just to tracking my stuff and planning, like the things I'm spitballing to myself. Okay, last thing that I have is the Flosstube shoutouts. I've been watching some new, I don't know if they're new Flosstubers, or maybe they just don't recently post as many videos, but YouTube has been recommending a bunch of different people to me recently. I did see one of the newer Flosstubes I've seen is at Pansy Stitches. If you look at her up on Flosstube, I think her name is Abby, but I think her tag is at Pansy Stitches. New Flosstube to me. I think she only has one at the time that I looked up her channel. She recently posted it a few days ago, and I think she did great. She did a great job for her first video, and I look forward to seeing more of her videos. So definitely go check her out. I've also looked at Enchanting Stitching, or Enchanting Stitches. I scribbled this down real quickly, and I'm not 100% sure, but I will tag all these people in the description of this video, so be sure to look at that. They had a lot of cool things that they were looking at. They showed some of their stash and some of the things that they're looking. She showed this book called Sweeter Than a Rose. It's a book of cross stitch, and it had like fairies in it. There's a couple fairies in there that I would be really interested in stitching, so I might have to look that up and see if I can find a secondhand copy on eBay. Just enabling us. Another person that I liked was Wisteria Stitch. This concept sounds so simple when I say this, but it blew my mind. So she actually has a kit up notebook where she actually writes down for the things that she's looking to kit up here recently, I can't remember. She has like a notebook, and each page is a different whip, and she puts whether or not she's kitted it up and what she needs to finish kitting it up for each of her projects. And I need that so badly. I go to an LNS that I have. Well, it's over an hour away from me. I don't go to it super frequently. When I do, I always it's just off the top of my head, be trying to rush through 1, 2, 3 Stitch to see and guess about things that I have or have not bought. So I think I found that I try to track stuff in Excel. I've tried tracking apps, and honestly, paper and pen work best for me. So it's about finding what works best for you. So I really like that idea. I think I'm gonna start doing that, keeping a notebook of stuff that I need to finish charts, that I can easily take with me if I go to, if I know I'm going to a stitchy store, or if I know I'm going to order stitchy stuff. And that way I can keep up with that. So I really like that tip. The Crow Stitcher recently had a Flosstube video, and they mentioned they had a problem. I've seen this happen to other Flosstubers too, but it was so sad. So they lost some of their digital charts, and they also lost the tracking that they had where they digitally track where they were on their pieces, and they work on a lot of full coverage pieces. So they were devastated. I mean, I would be too. I don't stitch on as many whips. I think that has happened to me before, where I've had to try to input my progress on a full coverage piece after the fact. I think when I changed phones recently, I had to do that. And, I have my Gecko Rouge pieces, and I have that one Dracarys piece that's so huge. But I don't think the way that I was working on it, it was too difficult to do it. But I can imagine having the number of whips that they have and having to do that. That sounds terrible. And also, something happened to where they don't have an extra saved copy of their pattern. Look, I don't upload things to the cloud. I just don't. I don't keep a hard drive. I know some people do that. I don't do that either. I don't back up my Flosstube videos I record on here. I don't back up, maybe, I don't know. I just don't, this is a hobby. This is something I'm doing off the cuff. If I would lose everything on this channel, I would just record more videos. I don't, excuse me. Let me take a sip of something real quick. Maybe that will come to bite me in the end. But I do know that for my PDF charts, what I do is when I order something from a website, like if I were to order an Autumn Lane design chart, the first thing that I do is I download the chart and then I email a copy of that chart to myself, to my Gmail account. And I have a folder that is specifically a save folder, like do not delete things in this folder. And it has my cross-stitch patterns in there. Like I said, I don't buy 30, 40, 50 charts. I don't have enough digital charts to do that. A lot of the Autumn Lane Stitchery charts, like the Dark Queen of the Sea series, I think after I downloaded the charts on my phone, I just automatically, I'm not concerned about whether or not I save those charts or not. They have the charts, I could buy them again as another PDF and enough time. The PDFs are not so expensive that I don't have a problem rebuying it, because I just don't work on that many. But if you're working on 30, 40 charts and then you have to replace all of those charts, and some of those might be retired, you might not have accessibility to this. So I can only imagine, like, it's devastating. And this is not I told you so, or you should have done this. Like, I know people say that, the different methods that they've done so that they don't lose that. But I mean, that's just, my heart goes out to her. I can't imagine that happening. But that's just something that I do. Honestly, a lot of the things, the digital charts that I do after I stitch them, I know that I'm not going to be stitching them again. I consider that to be done. I feel differently about my memorabilia charts. Those are like a collector's thing for me. So I won't be giving them away after I finish stitching them. I think for some of the other mermaid box things, like the Sea Hag pattern, and I didn't realize that some of the mermaid box patterns are not being released. Like, I know a lot of Stitchy box releases, like after 6 months they release the pattern to the general public, or after a year. But somebody mentioned in one of the comments that they weren't releasing some of those charts, or they haven't seen the release for the things in the mermaid box. So I don't think like Blue Lagoon Mermaid has been released. So some of the only ways that you can get it is if somebody resells it or gives it away. And I think I gave away the Sea Hag pattern that I had and the Here We Can Be Free pattern at the Stitch Florida retreat. I think I put it on the freebie table. So I didn't have those available. And also because I just assumed that people would just, I thought the charts were going to be released after the 6 months or the year or whatever. So I thought they were going to be available to everyone. If not, I would have given them away here to people who are interested in stitching on mermaid related content stuff, because I wasn't aware that they were not really available. But I'm not sure if the Sea Hag, maybe it's not for all the charts, maybe it's for some of the charts. But somebody did make a comment on the last Flosstube. But yeah, so just, if that's something that you want to keep in mind and you do stitch in a lot of these patterns, keep that in mind. That's the method that I use. I'll email myself a copy, and that way if something happens to my phone, it's not just saved on my phone. I can, you can access your Gmail and any device, just log in, and I have it saved there, and I know where to find it. So just something to keep in mind and think of. As I said, I was watching Siska Stitches. I mentioned that. Okay, so I think that's all the Flosstube I've been watching here lately. I saw that Teresa Little Stitcher is going to have another live today. Today is September 22nd. It's the first day of autumn on the calendar. So I'll probably be watching that. And I think Nicola, the Simply Stitcher, was also trying. She was having some difficulties this morning, but she mentioned she was still going to try to have a live. So I'll be watching her as well. And that's really everybody that I can think of right now off the top of my head. But I've been, watching, I watched so many people. I think you can go on my channel and see who all I'm subscribed to. And I basically, anything that Flosstube or YouTube in general recommends me, I'll subscribe to. And I'll just put everybody, who goes through my feed on my watch later list. And believe it or not, I watch everybody on double speed. That might drive some people insane, but that's how I try to just watch through everything. And sometimes I'll just have it playing on in the background while I'm doing work or house errands and stuff like that, and that's how I get through a lot of these videos. Or some of the people, like if they're just doing a simple update on their whips, I just scroll through the video. I don't necessarily watch through the whole thing, but I'll scroll through where you can do like the video scroll, so you get to see what the progress they've made on their whips. It's just my way of being able to keep up with everybody, and you know, give some views and some likes on the videos to all of these fabulous creators, and engaging with the community that way. But I am trying to do my best to leave more comments and engage with people that way. I know that helps people's channels out a lot. So yeah, thank you so much for staying with me. If you watch this to the end, leave me a little mermaid emoji in your comment. And let me know if you're participating in any of the styles that I mentioned here. I'm having fun. I think my dragons, I've been still keeping that alive for the Year of the Dragon style. And maybe once I finish that one, I can just use my Drakars to end up the year with that too. I also suggested to Cassandra and Aaron at Autumn Lane Stitchery that they should start thinking about, maybe, if they're interested in doing this, designing a snake pattern for Year of the Snake, because I think 2025 is going to be Year of the Snake. So they could do like a spooky pattern. I know they're really known for their Halloween patterns. Or they could do, you know, fancy lady with snakes. I don't know. I'd be really interested to see if they would take that suggestion and actually design something. I know they have a lot on their plate right now, though, so I would not feel slighted if they didn't take it. But it'd be really cool, and they're one of my favorite designers, so I'd be happy to see it. But yeah, thank you for watching me up to this point, for spending some time with me. If you like this video, press like, subscribe, and I hope that I'll be able to share more things that you'd like to see in the future. Okay, until next time, happy stitching!